Alright guys, this is Mark from parkflyers.com. Today we are looking at an awesome new car. It's the Traxxas 4Tec drift car. This is a car that retails for $329.99. It's available now and it's available in multiple colors. You're looking at orange and you're looking at the metallic black. They both look really good. This car features a clipless body system. It's very clean. It goes on and actually has a very tactile feel. It holds on really good, and it's one of their better designs for clipless cover designs. Clipless covers allow the body to just clip on. You don't have the clips and the body mounts that are visible, so it really has a nice scale look. The bodies are beautiful. It has a lot of molded parts on the body. On a contrast color, I think it looks really good because you can see the black molded parts contrasting the color of the car. You have the wing, the side view mirrors, the front spoiler, engine intake, and you have some bits on the back. Beautiful body. Everybody admits and says this is absolutely a winner as far as looks goes. Now I have to tell you that I actually made a previous video to this one, and I wasn't initially so happy with the car, and I'm glad that I gave it some time, and I'm glad that I actually caught something. So what I did was, when I first got the car, I took it out on asphalt and I started to run it, and I was really disappointed because the car had no oomph. It had no get up and go. It was barely moving. 21 turn motor with a 17 pinion. The car was like struggling to move. And it happened to be that the asphalt that I was on, it was just the type of asphalt wasn't that great. I went to different places. Still, some places were better than others. And I started to, think that the car was like a dud. And then I was testing the car for a few days, playing with the settings on the car, and I still wasn't satisfied. I put a 12-turn motor in it, up the pinion gear, played around with the differential, and I still wasn't happy. And I didn't understand what was going on because Traxxas usually, they don't make too many mistakes. And every time they release a new product, it's usually a blockbuster. So what ended up happening is I actually said, let me try this car on my brand new hardwood floor, because it's going to imitate like a real racing surface that they use for drifting. And sure enough, the car was awesome. We had the wheels that are appropriate for indoor, the ones with the 2 dots, and I ran it. It was very precise. There was a lot of control and precision. It was really unbelievable, and it really changed my mind quickly. So the car went from being something that was concerning to something that I realized is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how Traxxas did it. They really must have taken their time. They released a car for $330 that has very, very precise control. It's very addicting, and it really drives well. But the takeaway is that it drives well on a smooth surface like this wood floor here on the ground. This floor here is the floor in my house. So I actually set this up in the kitchen. I went through the legs of the table. I set up cones, and the car just drove beautiful. It was really controllable. Within a few minutes of driving the car, I was, controlling it very well, and it was very intuitive. It didn't really need too much adjusting out of the box. It was really tuned well. They had 0 camber in the rear, 4 degrees in the front, no toe in, and they had the right shims in the shocks, which were, really nicely set up. So out of the box, the car handled great. When I fidgeted with the app, it just made the car worse, and it was kind of confusing. I think the electronics, you don't really need to touch it. They made like a really interesting app. You could play with all the settings. I'll save you the time. You don't really need to. If you're going to drive the car on a groomed surface like a hardwood floor or a real track, a real drift track, you're not going to have to touch any of the settings. It really does drive good, and everything out of the box. And the TSM setting on the radio, usually you play with that. It is right where it is in the center is perfect. Now I want to talk about one feature that I thought was a joke and a waste of time until I actually understood it, and that's the handbrake. So the handbrake does not work if you're going to drive the car on asphalt. Basically, it just brakes the car and stops it. It has no function when you're using it on asphalt, but when you're on a slippery floor like this wood floor in my house, you're basically it actually makes the car slide, and it really does work. So What I'm upset about is that Traxxas didn't really put that in the literature. They don't really explain that really this car was designed for a smooth surface like wood, or like a smooth track surface, and they don't tell you that the handbrake is not going to work outdoors. They also don't tell you or insinuate in any way that the performance outdoors can be poor depending on your asphalt. If you have a certain type of asphalt, something that has very poor traction, the car is really just going to struggle to even move. And that's what I experienced when I first took this out. I'm glad that I gave it a last shot in the house. I don't know, something made me just think, let me just try it on my hardwood floor. Let's see if it's it's going to perform well. And it really outperformed and went way past my expectations. If you're buying this for outdoors, you have to, in my opinion, you're going to have to use a Tamiya Type D wheel. Now these wheels I put on the car. These make the car run amazing on asphalt because they're a hard rubber. They're not a plastic. This surface here is a hard rubber. It's a Tamiya Type D. They're very popular and they go in and out of stock very quickly. That is going to be your only shot for driving the car outdoors on asphalt. Now, because of the car has a little bit of increased grip, you're going to have to change the rear camber in the car to -4. In order for the car to rotate as you need outdoors. Other than that, the car drives phenomenal with these tires. If you're going to drive this car on asphalt, you need to pick up these wheels. When you put them on the car, you're going to have to remove the fake disc brakes because they get in the way of the rim. So you just remove the disc brakes, put these wheels on, and have a good time. They're really, really nice. They have a +2 offset, and they don't sit too flush with the car like the stock wheels do, but they end up performing so much better than the stock wheels outside. I did try MST rims with Yokomo tires. These are plastic. They work very, very well indoors, and you could actually change the offset with the plastic inserts, and they're really something you should consider. They are a slight improvement over the stock Traxxas wheels, but not like night and day. One thing you want to consider when buying this car and running it is getting the Traxxas heatsink. It's item number 3458. It just snaps onto the motor and it really does cool. It's mechanical cooling. It always works, and it really makes the motor last longer. Now I put in a 26 tooth pinion on my car because I do run it indoors and outdoors. It is a little, like I said, it's a little too slow outdoors. So you want to go from the 17 to a 26. It's number 2426 Traxxas pinion, and it's really nice. All right, now you can throw a 12-turn motor in the car. It's going to spool up really fast. It's going to spin the tires. For indoors, it's not going to be good. For outdoors, it'll be okay. You don't have to do it, but it will make the car go a lot faster. And they definitely complement the rubber Tamiya tires and wheels. It's a good combination. If you're going to be outdoors and you want to do high-speed drifting. But for indoors, the stock setup is phenomenal. I'm very, very surprised on how well this performs. It doesn't have fancy gyros like the Yokomo cars do. It has TSM with a bit of wizardry and some tuning, and it just really performs like a real drift car. Very controllable, very precise, and I was surprised because it has a lock spool, unlike the Yokomo cars that come with real differentials in the back. And I thought this car was literally going to be a dud because of all the way it's set up. They did it. They engineered this for price, and they were very smart. This is going to appeal to ages, I would say, from 12 to infinity. But there is a very big surge in interest in drift cars right now in the younger group of people, and that's like I said, teenagers all the way up. Through high school. There's a very big market for this. The cars are slightly tunable, not tremendous amounts of tunability on the car. I'm sure Traxxas is going to release some upgrade parts for these to make them run more competitively, but honestly, the way it runs out of the box on a slick floor with these tires is unbelievable. I can't ask for more. There's nothing really I have to say. The only thing that I'm upset about is that they don't let you know that it's, it could be a problem on asphalt with the included tires, and that you do need a hard rubber tire to drive it outside. You're also going to want to up the pinion because you have a lot of slip outside, and it's really it's more enjoyable when you up the pinion. I would go with the 26 like we did in our cars, but like I said, you have to make sure your car is also set up properly from the factory. We opened 2 or 3 cars, and only one of them was set up properly, where it had, like I said, 0 degree in the 0 degree camber in the rear of the car, and then -4 in the front. It drove the best. That's where you want it. Make sure that when you get the car, if you do, the best thing to do is get a shorty pack. We actually did put a shorty pack. We moved it far forward. The car drives slightly better, easier to drive with the battery pushed forward, and that's what we found. Like I said, we drove this indoors, and we were blown away by how we can snake through tables and through the cones in a very tight space, very controllable and very consistent, which is something rare for this category. Even one of the cheapest cars Yokomo sells ready to run is $389.99, and this beats it in performance and in looks. It also comes with a body, and it comes complete. The Yokomo is not even complete. It doesn't have wheels or a body included. This is definitely going to take the cake for, you know, entry-level drift car. I endorse it highly. I can't wait to make the track in the back of my warehouse, and we're going to have races. We're going to have competitions. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm probably going to install lights on one of these and maybe show it off in one of my videos. The other thing we're considering doing is throwing in a Hobbywing Just Stock motor and speed control. They make a 10.5 turn brushless motor, censored, which means you have a lot more frequency steps in the throttle range, which means more precision and more control. So that's going to be an interesting upgrade. We're actually going to offer it on our website page. If you want to order that, I will install it for free. It'll just add the price of the motor and speed control for the car on the first, let's say 1 or 2 months of this car's release. I'm going to do that for free as a courtesy. Just to basically, it's my way of saying thank you for buying the car from me. What I'll do is I will set up the Hobbywing motor and speed control, and it'll come installed in the car. All the stock parts will come in a bag, and then you'll get to run it very competitively out of the box. But like I said, you don't need that. It's just going to be a little bit better than the stock, but we are going to be offering that. So anyway, stay tuned. Look on our website for that option in the next coming days. And anyway, please like this video, share it with friends, and comments. If you have any comments or questions below, call me if you want me to set one of these cars up for you. I can set it up out of the box. We can tune it for you, make it a little bit more how you like it, and then we can go from there. Anyway, this is Mark from parkflyers.com signing off. Have a great day, and we will see you on the next review.